Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome for the first time. My name is Duncan and I'm a travel advisor specializing in Disney destinations and Universal Studios theme parks. I am really excited for this video today because it is something that I feel super passionate about and I cannot wait to share it with you. But first, make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you can see all of the upcoming videos. I do have some trips coming up that I want to share some really fun things about. So today we're going to be talking about solo travel at the Walt Disney World Resort that's in Orlando, Florida, and I have so much to share about it, so let's start talking. So I know some people may think like going to the Disney parks solo is not fun, like traveling by yourself. There's no one to talk to. It couldn't be further from the truth. I took my very first solo trip to the Walt Disney World Resort in October of 2020. And this was a little bit after the parks reopened after the closure. And it was such a liberating experience for me because I had never traveled by myself before. So getting myself to the airport and checking my luggage and getting on the plane, getting myself to my resort, everything was new to me by myself. And I absolutely loved the experience. I would not change anything about it. I felt like I learned so much about myself, and I highly recommend solo travel to anyone and everyone. And if you want to start off small, I think the Walt Disney World Resort is a perfect place to start for a solo travel trip. So I'm going to tell you my tips for traveling solo at the Walt Disney World Resort. The first one is to stay at a resort with multiple modes of transportation. If you're not familiar with the Walt Disney World Resort, there is transportation by bus, monorail, Skyliner, and boat. Not all resorts have all modes of transportation. A lot of them only have buses, but there are some that I picked that have multiple modes. First, if I'm picking a value resort, I would either choose Pop Century or Disney's Art of Animation Resort. Disney's Art of Animation is actually one of my favorite resorts, but it does have multiple modes of transportation. It has the bus and Disney's Skyliner system. So the Disney Skyliner can get me to Disney's Hollywood Studios and to Epcot. And that just provides me another way to get to the parks and get back to my resort if I'm deciding to stay late. If I am choosing a deluxe resort, I would definitely choose Disney's Boardwalk Inn or the Yacht and Beach Club Resort. It's actually two resorts, they're sister resorts right next to each other. But they also have transportation via bus and the Disney Skyliner, but they're in walking distance from Epcot. And so the reason that I pick these resorts with multiple modes of transportation or close to the parks is because that is how I feel comfortable in my transportation. Some people may feel comfortable doing other modes of transportation, but for me personally, staying at these resorts really makes me feel like I can get back to my resort in a good amount of time. I'm not spending a lot of time like waiting, and so I just think that picking a resort with multiple modes of transportation is perfect for when you are traveling solo to the Walt Disney World Resort. So the second tip that I would say is to make a plan. You may think like, oh, it's a solo trip, I can just come and go. And while that is true, you have so much freedom when you are on a solo trip. Like, really take this opportunity to do the things that you want to do. Whether that is trying a new restaurant or, staying late at one of the parks, trying a new experience. Those are all things that I've learned to really love on my solo time in the parks. When I go with friends or family, of course, we're compromising. We're talking about things that we want to do together. But when it's just me, I get to do whatever I want to do. I have done dining with characters. I've done some different experiences. I've done some late nights at the parks. And it was, guess what? Like, it was just me. I didn't have to run that plan by anybody. I just got to do the things that I wanted to do. So if there are things that you want to do at the Walt Disney World Resort, and not even at the parks, it could be at Disney Springs, at another resort, do it. Make a plan to do it. This is your time. This is your trip. Don't be nervous about what other people are gonna think. Like, oh, you know, this person is here taking photos with Disney characters at this dining and they're by themselves. Doesn't matter. Honestly, they're probably not even thinking that. Have fun, make a plan for the things that you want to do, because that's gonna make this solo trip so much more rewarding and memorable for you. The third tip I have, if attractions are on your list, look for these attractions that offer a single rider line. As of right now, there are 4 attractions that offer a single rider line, and that is Test Track at Epcot. It is Aerosmith's Rockin' Roller Coaster at Disney's Hollywood Studios, a Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Expedition Everest at Animal Kingdom theme park. Those attractions are all amazing, super fun attractions, and they offer a single rider line. So the single rider line, you can ask a cast member there if you don't see the sign for it, but it is going to be a shorter queue line than the traditional queue line. And the way that that works is, say that there is a party of 3 that comes to the line, they'll pull from the single rider line to make sure that that car is filled up. And so this usually is a shorter wait time than the regular queue line, and you can go through these attractions if you want to experience them. So that is a way that you can experience those attractions, not having to wait a super long time, and maybe make a friend talking in the line with other single solo travelers or with the party that you get sat with. So my 4th tip for going on your solo trip to the Walt Disney World Resort is to invest in Memory Maker. If you don't know what Memory Maker is, it gives you access to all of the photos taken by Disney cast members and on select attractions through your My Disney Experience app. This can be added to your vacation package. It is cheaper if you add it before your trip. So if you book a trip with me, we can add it on to your package. It is $185, and it rolls into your monthly payments if you choose to do a payment. That $185 gives you access to all of the photos through the duration of your trip, taken by Disney cast members or on select attractions. So if you have seen friends or family members go that they have their picture on Tower of Terror, you would get that photo. If you've seen magic shots to where a cast member will say, like, go hold out your hand, and they'll put like Tinkerbell in your hand, any of those photos will be included. And then any photos just taken around the parks. If you are in a line to meet a character and there is a Disney Photo Pass cast member there to take your photo, you will get that photo. When you're traveling solo, a lot of times I take a tripod, but if you're not taking a tripod, of course you're going solo and you don't want to ask someone to take your photo each and every time, I highly recommend Memory Maker. It's important that you make it worth it by writing the attractions that have photos, and then by also, whenever you see a cast member taking photos, you ask for a photo. I have gone on trips where I have gotten 50 or more photos, which made it 100% worth it to me. If you are not a photo person, then I can understand why you would not want this. But if you are doing a solo trip, I highly recommend in that investment, because you're gonna get your photos, you're gonna get to keep those memories, and then you're gonna get to show everyone on social media the amazing time that you had at the Walt Disney World Resort. My last tip is just safety, like be aware. The first thing about that, when I travel, of course, I'm updating my social media, but I do not update my social media in real time. So if I'm doing my story, I have usually left from that location, that specific location in the parks. I try not to do it when I'm actually there. That is a personal preference. Of course, you can do it, but I just find that that makes me feel a little bit more safe. Keep in touch with your family and friends back home. Either share your location with them, text them, give them a call, FaceTime them so they can see what an amazing time you're having. Just keep in touch with those family and friends, and then really just be aware of your surroundings. It is the Walt Disney World Resort. I do feel very safe there, but you can never just take that safety for granted. Whenever I am walking out of the park or I'm doing transportation, especially when it's late at night, I try to make myself known. If I see a cast member, I tell them hi. I interact with the cast member that is driving the bus. Try to talk to a couple people on the bus or on the Skyliner, just to make myself known. Somebody sees that I am there. They see that I am open and that I am talking. I'm an introvert, and that's kind of hard for me, but it makes me feel a lot safer, especially when I am heading back to my resort in the evening. When you get back to your room, making sure that you lock your door, doing all of those things, really just makes it safe, being aware. And this is not just for the Walt Disney World Resort. This is when you are doing a solo trip anywhere. Like making sure that you are staying on top of connecting with your family and friends, not updating your social media location in real time, and just being aware of what's going on. So those are my 5 tips for taking a solo trip to the Walt Disney World Resort. If you are thinking about taking a solo trip, it is something that is on your bucket list, leave a comment. Let me know what you are wanting to do. I have my contact information in the description. If you need help booking and planning that, I would love to sit down and chat with you about planning a solo trip, doing things that you want to do, and giving you my recommendations and tips and tricks for that. If you've already taken a solo trip to the Walt Disney World Resort, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you did, what was the best part of your trip. I love talking with other people about their solo trips to the Disney parks. It just brings me so much joy. So I would love if you would share that. Make sure that you are following me on my other social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Friend Like Duncan. And hit that subscribe button because I have some videos coming up soon. I am traveling to the Disneyland Resort and the Walt Disney World Resort, so there will be upcoming videos on that. But as always, thank you for joining. Your friend Duncan, and I'll see you real soon.